Tonight on Word of Life with Father Francis Lucas, the Executive Director of the Catholic Media Network TV Maria, we will focus on the first week of the Synod of Bishops in the Vatican, convened by Pope Francis. Good evening, Father, and welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening, Robert.
Father, to start us off, there was an initial report in the Synod which discloses a consensus to welcome gay people, unmarried couples, and divorces, as well as the children of these less traditional families. Now, is this a complete departure from the teachings of the Bible?
First and foremost, there is no decision yet. There's still, what has been done is a report on what was discussed in the past week. So, but answering your question, what the Pope wants is to embrace everybody, sinner or saints. And he even says that the Catholic Church is made up of sinners. I think that's very true, because all of us are sinners.
Now, Father, how long do you think the decision will take?
Well, after this, after the report, they will go into small groups and discuss in different continents, different groups. They will be subdivided. And then after that, by the end of the week, that is in October 19, they will end with some kind of conclusion. But this conclusion is just a summary again of what was discussed. And then next year, October of 2015, I think they will start in October 4, the Pope Francis called the Ordinary Synod. That is where decisions will be done and statements will be presented to the world.
Now, Father, how will this transform the Catholic Church to make it more responsive to the times, given the problems triggered by gays and transgenders? And how should a Catholic deal with those, infected with AIDS, HIV, and all this, what is happening in the world today?
First and foremost, we have to change our attitude. The Pope has been telling this in many of his talks and his statements, that we are a church that redeems, because Christ redeemed us, instead of a church that condemns. That means we have to open our hearts and our arms to everybody, and to see to it that you give value to life. And this value to life means respecting other people, no matter who and what they are. And likewise, to show them love, because God Himself is love, and we have to care for each other in the attitude of really truly loving and caring for one another.
Now, Father, before we continue with some of the contentious issues, now, can you explain to our people what comes first, the dogma of or living one's life based on how the Bible can apply to our daily lives?
First and foremost, the dogma or the beliefs or the teachings of the Catholic Church is based on the Bible. It's also based on tradition and the magisterium of the Church. This is the knowledge, the wisdom of the Church in the past thousands of years. So the dogma has to be explicitated in the way we live our faith, because faith is also in the expression of what you believe in, what is taught to you, and your passing on of the good news. And the Pope clearly says, Pope Francis clearly says, the Word of God and evangelization, the good news, should be seen as a gift of God, and we have to be happy in things that we do, and not really irate or you condemn people, you're always mad. No, that is not the evangelization. The good news is the good news of salvation. So if it's a good news, then you have to be happy about it, and your life must be happy. Therefore, we cannot be happy if we don't care for each other.
Now, Father, having said that, will the Church tolerate same-sex marriage in the future? Now, should it be condemned or not?
First and foremost, as I said earlier, we don't have yet any decision about the Synod, and that's only one part of the problems of society today. So I still don't know. But as I said, condemnation is not the term. You have to guide people on what is said in the Bible, what is the impact in a modern world or the contemporary world. But then the main focus is how to preserve the value of the family or the values of the family, and how to form children. I just remembered one of the statements of one of the bishops from Dublin, Bishop Martin. He said that, he was with the first Synod of Families in 1980. Whoa, that's a long, long time ago. And he said, I noticed that the world has changed in the sense that before, when you ask people why they want to get married, the reasons today is different. So he said, we have to double our efforts to form people, to form their minds, to form their values, to form their direction in life and objectives in life, in prayer, and likewise also in their belief in the teachings.
Now, Father, also having said that, the word family, in this ever-changing world that we are in right now, that word is also changing in terms of how people view it. Now, asking this question, is same-sex marriage, now, can it damage the institution of the family? Will it or will it not?
There are other matters that somehow destroy families and family values. For example, many today are single fathers and single mothers. So as the child grows, they only know a father. They only know a mother. When you have same-sex marriage, children, this was told to me even by lay couples, they said, Father, you know, what happens is children also get confused, who is my mother, who is my father? So in a sense, the growing child, the formation of their minds and their hearts somehow has become lame because it's not a common family unless, of course, a father died and mother is left behind. So they become single moms or single dads. So then, and there are many other things that destroy the family. Like, first and foremost, why do they want to get married? So if it's only self-gratification, then again, it destroys the values for the family. Having so many desires in life that you are no more controlled in what you do and what you say. So, and you don't pray anymore in the family. There are no more teachings that you pass on to your children. So that destroys the family.
Well, we know, Father, this issue is very controversial. We can't really tell which one is right, which one is wrong. On the church's side, you go back to the Bible and say, it all started with Adam and Eve, man and woman. But now in the changing world, and when people look at the family, it's supposed to be a man and a woman. But then now we have other sectors of society, the gays, the lesbians, and now talking about same-sex marriage. Now, how does this all fit in all these teachings? And how radical now is Pope Francis in trying to institute reforms in the Catholic Church? And how dynamic can it be and more responsive, again, in the ever-changing world that we are living in right now?
The answer to that, Robert, is exactly what the Synod is doing. First, since last year, 2013, towards the end of the year, the Pope and the Vatican, those in charge, sent a survey to all the dioceses and all the conferences in all the countries in the world that has Catholics. So the results of this was summarized, and this is what they are discussing now in the Synod. And there is a working paper, the working document called Instrumentum Laboris. And there are chapters there are sentences, and this is what they discuss. And in doing so, what the Pope wants is not to get the opinion of everybody, but first to look at the situation of how the family today is in crisis. For example, I just would like to go towards the end of all these problems. Look, the unabated abortion in the world today. So if you value life and there's unabated abortion, what happens to the family? What happens to life? Number two, we also see, like a plague, the fast increase of suicide in the world. So, these for me are the bottom lines. If you don't respect life anymore, if there is no more value in your life, this all comes down to the family, because love starts with the family. And the formation of love and the expression of love comes from the family. So this is what we have to watch out, we have to wait, and we have to see this. So the radicality of Pope Francis, for me, is not really something new, because he goes back to what Christ really is and what the church is supposed to be. Because in the church today, there are many things that has to be changed, especially in the attitude of how we express love for one another.
And Father, a final word for you to our viewers.
let's watch, and media today is so interested in the synod on challenges to the family in the context of evangelization. So watch this, pray for them, that for our bishops and for the couples who are joining the synod. And as I usually say, God bless you. See to it that God is always in your minds and in your hearts.
Okay, thank you very much, Father Francis, for joining us here on NewsLife. Thank you.